morning, and welcome to rainy Winnipeg. Yep, no sunrise this morning. However, about half an hour ago right now, I thought I saw a black-capped chickadee at the birdhouse. I'll check the surveillance system later. I was busy messing around with other stuff this morning, so okay. Now, what's this all about? Well, we'll talk about it at the end of today's episode. And also the microphone test. I got the microphone mounted on the bike, and that'll be at the end of today's episode. I am realizing that I've got to quit messing around here, and I've got to concentrate on this build, or we're just not going to get it done. Or, well, let's put it this way, we'll get it done, but it's going to take twice as long as it should. Okay, now this piece here, I think if I'm smart, I'll get it off the model table in case I accidentally knock it over and break something off. I kind of leave it there because I kind of like the looks of it, but I think I should get it over and put it where the other modules are. We're done with that piece now. It's there's nothing more to do with it until we glue more stuff on top of it, and then eventually, well, we got to get do the railing and stuff like that. But that doesn't happen until we get to, I think it's step 40 or 41. And then we're going to be trying to figure out how are we going to get the railings on that bottom ledge. I'll do something. And if it was just too difficult, I just won't put them on. There's going to be enough detail on that ship anyway. It's still going to look good from two arms lengths. Okay, yeah, let's recompose here and try and get we might be able to get step 38. No, we couldn't get step 38 done today because after I get the flashing cleaned off of all these pieces, the module has to be painted before I can drop down the really small stuff like this. At least that's my plan. So yeah, I don't think we'll be finishing step 38 today. Let's get at it. Now, a few moments ago, I was sitting in front of the computer and I was editing out our opening scene. And, well, that's the way I do it. I'll shoot a little bit and then I'll run to the computer and then I'll come back to the model table and do a little more. And, it keeps me from, constantly sitting down. I, keep sort of active, you might say, if you could call that active. Anyway, I thought I'm going to just check ahead in the manual and, check about the railings and stuff like that because we've been talking about it. And unless I've missed something, there is no piece of railing that goes around this bottom ledge. So we don't need to worry about that. And there is a piece of railing that goes here on this one. And then there's going to be a piece of railing that's going to go on this part right here. Where is it? Oh, you can't see it. On this piece right here. As near as I can tell, there's a piece of railing that goes around that. That's going to be a little bit difficult maybe. But, that gets mounted on these things after if I ever get the flashing cleaned off, that is. Okay, let's get at it. Okay, I think I'm going to glue these two pieces together with the quick setting. Seems to work pretty good on a seam like this where there's quite a bit of surface. And you notice there's a hole here and a hole here and a pin here and a pin there, so that helps to hold it together. Alright, let's I think that should do it. I wonder if I should just let it drop in from the outside, or maybe what I should do is try and poke let me move in a little bit. Try and poke in and get the applicator on the seam from the inside, and that way there's less of a chance of it running all over the place. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that on camera or not. Well, let's give it a try here and see what happens. All right. We'll do the back first. Just make sure it's together about as good as it can go. Now, unfortunately, the lighting's wrong. You can't really see inside there, can you? No. Let's just I'm trying to get this just right here. All right. Is that working? No. I'm just having a real hard time holding this here. Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll just get it on and let it wick its way down. And it'll wick its way down the crack. Okay. I see it coming out there. Not really. Well, here I can do it on the bottom. It doesn't matter if it goes all over the place on the bottom. Okay. Maybe if I did it like this, it would work better. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Okay, I think we've wasted enough time here with this. Let that dry. And let's see, moving on. What's the next thing we have to do? Okay, well, there isn't a whole lot else to put on, is there? Now, I'm wondering, this piece here, should that be painted? Is that going to be painted the 19 like everything else? I think this is some sort of a, kind of a, like a catwalk almost. And it's going to go okay, wait a minute, I got it upside down. Okay, it goes like this. Is there a slot there? Oh yeah, there's a slot. Okay, well that's going to make it easy. Okay, it's going to go in like this. Oh yeah, I think we can get everything to line up. If I can get this tongue in that slot, that is. Maybe I should be waiting a little bit longer for this to harden. Yeah, let's just push stop here for a few minutes. Okay, here is what's happened. At around 10:30 this morning, when I saw the tail end of a bird going into the birdhouse, I had assumed that it was the black-capped chickadee. I didn't think the sparrow would fit in there, but the sparrow is able to struggle its way through that hole. I should not have put a perch on that birdhouse. I was warned about that. Okay, I guess the sparrow has moved in and kicked the chickadees out. I don't know what to tell you, but people wanted to be updated as to how it was going, and sometimes things don't go as planned. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to do here. I guess, I guess we'll just have to wait for fall and winter time and take the birdhouse down and cut the perch off and start all over again. It's the only thing I can think of at this point. let's let gravity be our friend here. Now, is that going to fit in there? I thought it would. It's not falling into place, that's for sure. Put a little bit of pressure down. Okay, I believe it. There we go. All right, I think if I was to put some extra thin now from the bottom, like this is the top of it. But if I put some extra thin on the bottom there, and just sort of let it work its way into that tongue. Okay, then I think it's probably going to meld into shape a lot better. Is it going? Okay, so this piece now, maybe I am going to have to put a little bit of extra thin on the top here. It's going to be painted anyway. Try and get that all the way in. Okay, I do believe we've got it. Well, I think we've got it about as far as it's going to go. It seems to be coming up against those drain pipes or whatever they are. I don't remember seeing there being a bit of a crack there, so that's maybe what's holding it out. Now we're going to want it to come right here. How can I hold that in the right spot now? A little bit of pressure. I wonder if a clamp. Bear with me. Oh, not that one. I want one that's got rubber on both sides of it. I'm just doing a dry run here. Just want to see how this is going to go. Is that going to hold that in there? Yeah, something like that would work. Okay, now how can I do this on camera? I think I almost got it. I'm going to back it off, loosen it up, put a little bit of extra thin in there. And now if we squeeze it together, now we want to squeeze it together in the right place. That should be a fairly strong fit. Just let me turn this so I can see it here. I think that the top of this platform should be at the same level as this piece that I'm just touching with my fingernail. So I'm going to have to maybe try and twist it out a little bit here. Something like that looks pretty good. Okay, I think if it'll glue like that, let's just get a little bit more extra thin right there to meld. Okay, that's my unprofessional way of doing it. Okay, let's just leave that for about, I'm guessing, half an hour. Because it's not the quick setting. You know what? Maybe now's the time to do the back here, because everything seems to be more or less in place. Okay. I guess I should turn it this way so that you can see it. I'm going to do it from underneath. That should be plenty. And then there's this one right, oops. Well, this one's not touching, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to hold that down. So it'll glue on it, so it'll glue onto, wonder if I was to, yeah, it'd be nice if I could just hold it down. I'll think of something. Okay, I tried experimenting around with a rubber band, and I was afraid that the tension could all of a sudden snap it. Like where my finger's touching right here, that connection, that joint is very, very delicate. So I've come up with this, and I did do this once before, and it seemed to work. I mean, by once before, I mean just a few minutes ago. So let's just let that rock over. I have to be careful not to bump this whole apparatus now. But I do believe that's pushing down on there, and it's making contact. So now we're going to take our extra thin and liberally saturate that whole area. So that there'll be lots of plastic that's going to meld. Make sprue goo, in other words. I think that should do it. Okay. Alright. Now. Can't see the clock. Well, trust me. It is exactly 1 minute after right now. But after what, right? After 1. It's 1 minute after 1. And I'm going to call it quits for today's episode. So, thanks for watching, everybody. And stay tuned for the microphone test and the bike ride and the, what it was that came from Amazon yesterday. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so here's the latest. Probably 11 minutes ago, the last episode of the model ship went live on YouTube. But what I've got here is that same bolt that I showed you. And I went down to my workshop. Let me move in a little bit here. I went down to my workshop to find another one. And I did have another one, but it was about this much longer. And my thinking was, what I'll do is I'll put the bolt in my metal lathe and turn it down. And so that it would just nicely go into this radius here. And then I put a screw in through the other side to lock it in place. And then I thought, well, why don't I save myself the hassle? As long as I have to drill a hole anyway, why don't I just use this here? And so that's what I've done. I've drilled a hole in it, and so this bolt, by the way, when I got it out of my box of bolts, you know, where I save boxes of bolts, the nut that was already attached to it was one of those old-fashioned square nuts, you know, a four-sided nut. Well, you don't see those anymore. So this bolt, it could be 100 years old, or maybe not. Anyway, the idea now is we're going to put this in here, and then, actually, this is pretty much the first time I've tried it assembled here. Is this the way I want it to go in? Yeah. I'm trying to do it on camera here, and it's kind of awkward. I think it's going to go, isn't it? Have I got it lined up? Maybe I don't have the hole lined up. There I go. No, I don't. All right, I'm going to have to take this off camera. See you in a second. Okay, I kind of got it now. Now this should go through and out the other side here. Maybe if I had a screwdriver, I could get a little bit better leverage on it, but you can see the idea. Then what I'm going to do, after I get this nice and tight and straight, I'm going to mix up some epoxy glue, and I'm just going to fill in the crack here so that it's not going to wobble around, or at least not very much. And the bolt is going to keep it from falling out should the epoxy glue come loose, which it probably will. Okay, so that's the idea, and then this will, you know, it'll hang on my handlebar, something like this. At least that's the plan. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. I hope I get it. I hope the epoxy. This is slow curing epoxy. This is 15-minute, I thought I had a bunch of 5-minute, but I must have used it all up. Okay, just let me continue on here, and we'll see if we can get this thing up and running, because I'd kind of like to try it out tonight yet. Weather's sort of nice, so yeah. Okay, I'm back here. I started tightening this down, and I haven't even got it what you call really tight yet. And I was noticing that this is already really snug. I don't need this. I don't need this. So let's just see what happens here. I hope I'm not going to crack the plastic, because this is sort of a semi-hard plastic. I think what's happened is that the flat bottom of the bolt, which I cut off basically square, has bottomed out on the bottom here. And the way this bolt goes in, it's sort of pressing the bolt down into the bottom. Anyway, enough chatter. Just tighten it up, Ron, and shut up. Okay. I do not need epoxy. Okay, now this is I should really cut this off though. This is adjustable. Okay. All right, let's back this back out again and cut the bolt off. I might have to use a die on the end of it to get the threads. I'll probably mess up the threads. I don't want anything sharp sticking out like that. So I was mounting the bracket on the handlebars on my bike, and I remembered that when I was down in the workshop, I heard the lid on my delivery box slam. So I thought, oh, okay, it's here. So what's here? Well, it's definitely not the big Yamato. It's not even the little Yamato. Okay. It's a squashed box. Well, what do you expect? They put it in a plastic bag, but it's probably going to be all right. All right. It was Amazon's choice, so fairly hard case. And a glove for attaching the lenses. So what it is, it's biking goggles, I guess you call it. And it's got, what do we got going on here now? Wonder what that's all about. I guess I'll find out. Anyway, so there's the basic frame here, and I'm only going by the pictures I've seen of it. Now my fingers are a little bit greasy from handling that stuff, so. Okay, so the idea is, I believe, it's got 3 different lenses, one of which is polarized. And that's probably the one I'm going to be using the most. So that's probably this one right here. Kind of looks like it. Oh, here we go. There's a test thingamajiggy. And maybe I'll recompose and show you. So what have I got here? Oh no, this is the polarized one. Okay. And then this would be, I guess, for going out at night vision. I probably will not be going out at night. So this is just the plain one and the polarized one. Yeah. And just let me recompose here, and we'll try out this polarizing filter here. It's supposed to, so that you can test your glasses. Yeah, just bear with me. Okay, this little picture that we're looking at right now, it's opaque. In other words, you can't see through it. You're not supposed to hold it up to the light. It's not that kind of testing device that you often see with polarized lenses. The idea is you take your polarized lens, and when you pass it in front of, now you can see the cars. So that's the idea. Before you couldn't see the cars, and now you can. You're much safer now, right? Okay. Yeah, that's that's kind of different. All right, it works. Okay, we should be recording. We're clamped in. I have turned on the recorder now. And let's just see what's going to happen. Okay, everything's set to automatic level. And here we go. Now it's important that you remember everything is in kilometers per hour. In other words, if the speedometer says 20, we're really only going 12 miles per hour. It appears like I'm going a lot faster than I really am. Now I had meant to ring my little bell a lot louder than I did. I did better on the net with the next people. Okay, now this is probably going to be the noisiest part, crossing this bridge. My camera is recording only my voice, not the ambient sound. And the other camera, or rather the recorder, is recording the ambient sound. Now when we go down this little hill here, I can really get up speed if I don't apply the brakes, and I don't think I was applying the brakes too much here, and I got up quite a bit of speed. And the wind noise was quite noticeable. I'm going to toggle back and forth between the microphone on the camera with and without voice isolation. And yeah, you're going to be able to hear the difference, in the wind noise. And the other microphone that's on the recorder, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And yeah, you will hear a slight rumbling in the other microphone, but nothing like, what we're trying to get away from here. And we're getting away from it. Okay, here I do a better job of ringing my bell. Okay, I think I'm going to try and turn around here and go back. This bike ride was actually a lot longer than what you're seeing here. I cut about 10 minutes or more out of it. And here's our steep hill again. When we come up to the beginning of the bridge, I stop And I'll see if I can draw an arrow, that shows my house. There was nobody coming up behind me, so it was safe to stop here. Okay, my house will be right here. Now, if you were listening to this through your headphones, stereo headphones that is, you should have got pretty good separation left and right side of the bridge. Notice how smoky the sun looks. And there should be no wind noise right now. Now, it is my intention to not do any more bike riding, videoing my bike rides that is, until we go someplace that's a little bit more interesting. This was just mainly to see how well the dead cat would, muffle out the wind, and it did really well. I gotta figure out what is that clicking that's going on. I thought at first maybe it was my padlock thing. Bike lock, but I don't think so. It's something else. Well, here we are. I'm really going to be anxious to see how this is going to work. And yeah, okay, let's just push stop here. And turn the power off on that thing. Okay, we'll turn the power off on this. And the key. And we may as well stop our video.